Yes.
Mutalisks, and it worked great.
It was incredible. It was a wild game, one of the coolest ZVZs I've seen in quite some time. And yeah, I mean, Sheth's got some of the best ZVZ in North America. MoMaN is a pretty, I mean, he's kind of an unorthodox player himself, though.
Oh yeah, MoMaN is well known for just doing
Yeah.
goofy antics all over the place, and I don't know if this means that we're going to see MoMaN be aggressive in a more traditional style, or whether he's really going to embrace that new mobile Mutaling mix. I mean, I think Nerchio had very much so the appropriate response. But here we go, another unexpected match for the day in the North position. This is currently his first round-robin group stage match, Liquid Sheth.
And down here in the 6 o'clock position, playing as Brain, but we know him as MoMaN. And it's purple versus teal this time.
It looks like red versus blue went out the window, but it's off red and off blue. On this map, I mean, we've seen pretty much every opening have a good justification. With the distances, early expands seem a little bit safer, especially when you can spot that your opponent is not close to you. Early 10 pool plays, also very, very strong. You can put pressure on, especially considering how popular those fast hatches are. And of course, with the distances and with how open the map is, getting very fast link speed also going to be a reasonable choice. But it does look like both players seem to be gearing up to do an early expand.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm seeing as well, Day 9. I think if there was ever a position on Metalopolis where fast expand was a little bit questionable, it would be over here at 9 o'clock because the ramp's at kind of a funny angle. But when we're at 12 and 6 like this, fast expand on either side is very viable. Sheth actually has thrown down a spawning pool and a gas, so he's going to be doing some kind of maybe a speedling opening. But MoMaN is in fact going to go hatch first, like we both predicted.
I mean, hatch first, I do think now, is going to create a very cool dynamic. Once Sheth threw down the spawning pool, you know, it's like, well, of course, Sheth loves getting Zergling speed. He almost always favors that sort of play, but Sheth does have a lot of cool economic follow-ups. With this early of a gas geyser, that's another declaration of, I want Zergling speed as fast as possible.
Right.
So there's going to be this odd tossing back and forth where Sheth needs to do a good amount of damage with the speedlings because the instant MoMaN has his own speedlings, he can immediately rally with far superior production, and Sheth might just be overrun.
Absolutely. Sheth's got a couple options here. We could see perhaps a one-base Baneling play. I think it's much more likely that we'll see a Speedling expand, and that's exactly what we're going to see, as he's already pulled guys off of gas. So he mines that 100 gas to start up the Ling production. And the speed upgrade, obviously, and then he's going to send that drone down to expand. So behind this, he wants to get as much map control as he can with these speedlings and pressure MoMaN into limiting his drone production. You know, Sheth wants to buy himself time to equalize the economies.
And I already love that Sheth has gone back to drone production. It's so easy to fall into that trap of, gosh, I have to put pressure on, put pressure, and suddenly, when the pressure can't be applied anymore, you have zero economy and you're nearly dead. You have to apply a little bit at a time.
Yes, you're exactly right. So the first 4 Lings for Sheth are going to mosey right on down here to this natural expand, and he's going to be like, oh, you went hatch first? Okay, I've got to figure out exactly how I want to deal with that. Sheth's speed will finish up much, much earlier than MoMaN, so he's going to have about 30 seconds of uncontested map control with those Lings.
Ooh. Does look like Sheth is starting to poke in, do a good amount of damage. He is doing the ring around a Rosie. Not a big deal at this point in time. Sheth almost essentially knows he can slip out no matter what. He does manage to get good sense of everything that's going on in the base, and he might lose this one Ling. He needs to get that speed upgrade done. Oh, and there he does.
Yes.
Immediately whips back around. Ooh, this is a nice position, but note MoMaN still making only Lings at this point in time. He will be able to slip up into the main. No, he sees the drone transfer. That was very clever by MoMaN. It actually is no new units.
Sheth's Speedlings managed to catch a couple of MoMaN's Lings out in the middle of the map, and right now the Units tab says that Sheth has a few more Lings than MoMaN does, but they're not all together with a Queen there. He can't really commit to this natural expansion. If we look at the drone counts, it's 17 to 18, and the Ling counts are quite close as well. So Sheth has managed to keep it pretty close, despite the fact that his opening wasn't the most economical.
Ooh, it looks like almost a dead even trade at this point in time.
Oh man, these Lings running up the bottom half of the map. This is looking actually super scary. Sheth's way out of position, and MoMaN is about to be in his natural with a ton of units.
MoMaN swung all the way around the left flank. Sheth was not expecting it. Is going to have to do a full-out retreat, reposition absolutely everything. The Queen is there. A lot of Zerglings do manage to pick off a Queen of MoMaN's that was going for an Overlord, and suddenly MoMaN is the one on the defensive, but in the main, it looks like Sheth has hardly any drones mining at this point in time, and right now, Sheth and MoMaN, despite all the craziness, remain fairly even.
Look at MoMaN's natural day, and there's a lot of damage being taken from these Zerglings of Sheth. He's just shift-clicked on these drones, and he has cleaned out that expand completely. Meanwhile, MoMaN is countering as well, but Sheth has created a little bit of a lead for himself, 18 drones to 14 now. The Ling numbers are still favoring MoMaN, and he's still streaming across the map with lots of Zerglings, and anything could happen at this stage of the game.
Right now in the production tab, we see Zerglings being made for both. It looks like even Zergling counts, but not once MoMaN finishes all those Lings of his own. This is a lot of Zerglings for MoMaN. A great angle for MoMaN, but Sheth has a far superior Zergling count and will overrun that. Sheth looks like he is slowly starting to stabilize, and once that Baneling nest finishes up, he will easily be able to get the units he needs to stay alive.
I'm so impressed with Sheth's ability to manage both his economy and the proper amount of Zerglings needed to stay in the game.
Oh, it's a counterattack, and it looks like that Queen may end up falling, but at the same time, I don't think that the natural expansion of MoMaN is going to be able to withstand this many Zerglings. The drones jumping into the fray right now, down at the natural of MoMaN. It looks like MoMaN he's barely able to clean it up, and again, it seems like another trade between these two top Zerg players.
Yeah, so close on both sides of the map, but Sheth manages to come out of that still with the worker lead 16 to 11 now. Both players have lost some economy, but Sheth somehow managing to come out just a little bit ahead. He's morphing some Banelings now, and that's going to make it extremely difficult for continued Zergling aggression from MoMaN to be effective.
Ooh, and we do see there's the Zergling engagement, but once those Banelings make their faces known, there are not many options you have as MoMaN. You have to run and transition into something else. Immediately we see the drones start to be produced for MoMaN, but we talked about this at the start of the game. You can't just say pressure, 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 pressure. Oh God, I can't pressure anymore, can I? I better start building drones. If you get caught in that spot, suddenly you run the risk of a huge window like right now where Sheth can apply pressure continuously, and you have to respond by building units of your own.
Yeah, MoMaN's in a lot of trouble. He's got less Lings, he's got less drones, he's got less tech, and Sheth is bearing down on him right now. Looks like MoMaN's going to be content to set up a counterattack, and I don't know if it's going to work out because Sheth is in his natural doing huge amounts of damage. And,
4 Banelings rolling up into the main. Oh no, where can the drones go? And it looks like absolutely nowhere. See you later, economy for MoMaN. Meanwhile, in the main base, Sheth realizes if he can defend this push, he will have the game won. Meanwhile, down in the main, we see some Zerglings from MoMaN trying to stream out at the natural. We see MoMaN can't quite break, and Sheth takes the win and ties the series up 1-1 after a ridiculously intense Zerg vs. Zerg.
That was a little bit, yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking.